Katherine, we're in 2023. Can you believe it?
We are. I'm so excited. It's going to be a great year. I think everyone's excited for a fresh start. So happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all had an amazing holiday season.
And I mean, if you survived the minus 37 that we were having, it's
Yeah.
looking pretty good going forward. I mean, as far as I saw the forecast, we're looking pretty good weather-wise. And I mean, I had a lot of interesting conversations with family, friends over the break, and it was nice. It was nice to put your feet up a little bit. Still was quite busy with work. And but I had a lot of people ask me, like, Calvin, it seems like nobody's buying, nobody's selling right now. Like, it seems like there's no movement, like completely frozen. And I mean, you can guess where I'm at right now. I'm actually at an inspection right now. I've always done the lives from my office, but because of how crazy the market is right now, and not insane like January 15th to April 30th that we saw in 2022, but I mean it is picking up. There's momentum going into January, and I can tell you it feels a lot different than how December felt. December was definitely a little bit more of that like lull. There wasn't a lot of showings on listings. There was a lot of buyer hesitation. But honestly, my phone today has been off. It has been go, 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 go. We had, myself personally, 4 listing photos were scheduled for today for 4 separate listings. And then we have 2 more for Friday. And I think we have 3 more for Monday. So, I mean, it's wild on how many people are picking the phone, how many people are either wanting to just get rid of their property now, take advantage of this buyer activity that we're seeing, or buyers that are like, you know what, we're optimistic we're going to be seeing the interest rates drop, so let's get into it now. We're noticing that there's going to be more inventory coming up like there typically is. Let's get the shopping started now as opposed to waiting. So yeah, lots of stuff to unpack there, but I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to a good start to this year.
Yeah, everyone's waking up. Everyone's excited. New goals to obtain and to meet. I think the premise of what we would love to talk to you guys about today, and what we're also talking about as realtors, is setting those goals, setting your action plan for 2023. What do you want to accomplish in real estate, especially for those investors? There's some wicked deals right now, and it's going to continue. So we don't know when that will change, but for now, it's a great time in terms of pricing. Of course, inventory is a little bit on the lower end. However, that doesn't mean that that's forever. I mean, Calvin's going to be filling up MLS in the next week or so here, so stay tuned for his listings. But be sure to even just see what's out there right now, and also expireds. I know, Calvin, you could probably touch on that, but
yeah. And just like Katherine said, plan for the year. Let's talk about what the year looks like in real estate, typically in a province like Alberta. That's where we see colder months, warmer months. So in the winter months, like we're seeing right now, you typically see better deals.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time where you're typically going to see discounted home prices. Okay. So if you're one that's always a bargain shopper, like I am, always looking for the Boxing Day, always looking for Black Friday sales. I mean, I try to do my Christmas shopping literally on Black Friday, and I will save 20, 30, 40%. I mean, huge. So if you want to save some money, start shopping now. Yes, interest rates are higher, but interest rates are temporary. Home prices, when you buy a house, it's going to stick. So if you want to get a better discount, I would purchase now. If you can suck it up and deal with the higher interest rates temporarily, we're very optimistic we're going to be seeing some positive changes when it does come to the interest rates. And we typically see in the springtime that they get better for buyers because there's a large encouragement of buyers to get into the market in the springtime. And usually by adjusting the interest rates, it usually helps doing so. Now, if you like shopping on Boxing Day or Black Friday, but you hate the competition, you're running in the Walmart, Katherine has one side of the TV, I have the other. We're like, oh, there's only one left. If you don't like that, shop now.
Yeah.
Because when all the buyers are listening to the news and hear interest rates have now dropped, think about how many people are picking up the phone, calling their mortgage broker and saying, Tracy, I'm in.
Yeah.
What can I go shopping for? And guess what? Multiply that by hundreds, if not thousands of people. And now that's your new competition.
Mm-hmm.
When there's that increased competition, what's going to happen to pricing?
What was that?
If you like to have the Black Friday, Boxing Day sales, this is the time of year to typically achieve those. If you are able to handle interest rates. Mm-hmm. Springtime, Optimistic. We're going to be seeing, I'm very optimistic, we're going to see a decrease in interest rates, which is going to increase the volume of buyer activity in the market. Plus, as it gets warmer out, we're going to see more of the primary home buyers purchase as well. We will be seeing more multiple offer situations, I'm sure, more buyer competition. And then as we enter the fall, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, it really depends on what's happening with mortgage rates. Couple of things that that Katherine mentioned early on. I'm not sure if anybody picked up on this, but shopping expireds. If you don't love the inventory that's available to you right now because you're looking for something very particular, shop the expireds. Think of it like a bear. A bear likes to hibernate. It doesn't mean they're dead when they're hibernating. They're still alive. Think about properties these are properties that are hibernating. They're hibernating until the springtime. So these are properties that were live last summer or fall, are no longer available on the MLS, and then will come back available in the spring. They're hibernating. Can you wake up a hibernating property? You absolutely can. You just need to get access to it. So that's where you can ask your realtor, can you show me a bunch of hibernating properties, Mr. Realtor? If they're watching our market update, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. If they're not watching this, they're not going to have a clue. You can just ask them for expireds. I need that long list. And that's a great opportunity, right? Great opportunity to increase your shopping options, and you might find a great deal. Right.
And speaking of talking with your realtor, also just check in not only with the expires, but check in what your custom search is set at as of today, because your search criteria could have very well changed within the last quarter of the year. Maybe you're looking at different neighborhoods, communities, price range. Maybe you're okay with one less bedroom. You know, it can really just open up your inventory options. So there's many different things that we can do. I mean, the more broad, the better. But if you're very, focused on a community, then, keep focused on it, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's probably wondering, what's this this white, blue, orange sheet in front of us? Katherine, this is, yes, the December stats. So if everybody wants to know, how did we finish the year off when it comes to market stats? This is it. This is it. We didn't make it up. This is real stats right in front of us. Katherine, you want to go through, the stats with us today?
Sure. So, I mean, we're seeing some down arrows. So that kind of just correlates to what we were saying, that, price is on the decline as well as sales. So, that's not a bad thing. Back in December, that's pretty much what we were seeing, is just things were kind of slowing down. Buyers were waiting. That's quite traditional. It doesn't mean that there isn't still transactions happening. It's just not as top of mind. Everyone's doing family, shopping, eating. We've all done that now. We're good. We're rested. Heading into sales prices. So for average single detached family home, we are looking at $457,000, which is, down 1.1% year over year. Going into condos, those are at $207,000 as an average price. And that's gone down significantly, actually, year over year, by 4.6%. And then for duplex and row housing, average price of $357,000, and we've gone down 1.9%. Correct me if I'm wrong, Calvin, but I think last month in November, condos were still actually doing quite well. I think they are relatively, but that's something to keep your eye out to. If you're not ready to buy the big house, maybe you're ready to buy a transition home, or as an investment. It's a great option.
Yeah. Amazing. So like Katherine was mentioning, we have the new listings that have been dropping. So if you're seeing less, if you're on a custom search right now and you're hearing less dings in your email, so is everybody else. And overall sales have dropped as well. Year over year, I mean, our volume, this first time during like COVID where we're starting to see a drop in sales. I mean, if you guys remember back in like May of 2020, sales just started to skyrocket because there's nothing else for people to do. They were shopping, they were renovating their house, but a lot of people fast track this. And this is also when we saw the lowest interest rates of all time, where you were able to borrow money from the bank at like 1%. So, I mean, it's the first time where we had so much buyer activity for the last like year and a half, 2 years. Now it's starting to slow down a little bit, but we are expecting, if we were to fast track this video and look at our January update, looking back at January, so technically our February update, I'm expecting that we're going to end up seeing a flat in prices. I don't see us dropping any much more. Condos probably still dropping a little bit. Condos can be a little bit more vulnerable just because there's so much inventory for them. But overall, I mean, things to take away from this is that, there's reduced shoppers out there. There's reduced competition. When you see less sales volume, that means that people are not knocking at the seller's doors as often. So there's going to be a little bit more desperation when you finally do knock at that door. The seller's going to say, no, wait, don't leave. I might have a great deal for you. Just come back. Just come back. And really use that to your advantage as a buyer, because you can negotiate things, right? I mean, we get questions all the time of like, can you negotiate the hot tub in? Can you negotiate the couch? This is the time to negotiate as buyers. You guys have the upper hand, right? And some sellers might be willing to help you part with that, might be willing to part with that stuff. So I would say ask for what you want in this market and you might just get it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep. And sellers. So I think when it comes to, well, I know when it comes to selling right now, I mean, the biggest things to be focusing on is, again, make your house stand out than the rest. If you don't have, I mean, if I have this one listing right now and they didn't have landscaping last year and they said, Calvin, should we do landscaping? I'm like, well, it depends on when you're planning on listing. If you're listing in the wintertime, no one's going to know whether you have dirt or sod unless they ask you, right? So we actually have 1 or 2 listings that are coming up where their landscaping's not great, but everything else is beautiful. But you want to make your house shine, still make your house stand out from the rest of them. Be unique with how you're providing your listings, whether you're doing like, the higher grade photos, just, using the right trigger words to capture a larger audience if they are searching, for specifics. Spend the time and just make sure that your property shines. So.
Absolutely. If you want to curb the average days on market, which have, increased even just in the last month, we don't know if that will continue or if it'll balance. We're assuming that it'll kind of stay in that balance, but like Calvin said, don't shy away from really making your house shine and be prepped for listing photos, because those photos speak volume, and especially having yourself on multiple platforms as well. Make sure that your agents are marketing as best as they can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Any last tips, Katherine? Any other tips that you're offering your buyers right now? Anything else that we want to part with before we take off for our first marketing year? Any last tips you want to offer anybody?
I mean, we're first week of January, so no better time than to get your ducks in a row. Just get in touch with your realtor and just set the stage for 2023. Make sure that you know what your goals are so that you can reach them, obtain them, and we'll help you. We know the right timing as best as we can within this current market. So just have those conversations, and all the best in 2023.
Awesome. Sounds good. Katherine, thank you so much for joining me again, and looking forward to seeing you in about a month. Well, I'll see you again soon, but see everybody else with Katherine in a month's time.
Yes. So, thanks, Calvin. All right. Have a great evening, everyone.